Good evening, sir. We are hereby take the honor and privilege to invite Shri Madireddy Pratap-IPS, Director General, Andhra Pradesh State Disaster Response and Fire Services, as our chief guest today. We welcome you, sir. I now invite Dr. Jashna Panchiti to the dais, please. Yes, please. I request Mr. Gopal Ganatra to the dais, please. I request Mr. Mahesh Armugam to come to the dais, please. I request Ms. Sheetal Khanna to come to the dais, please. I request Mr. Anthony John to come to the dais, please. I request Mr. Tariq Kachwala to the dais, please. I request Gokul sir to start the conference, please.
Very good evening, one and all. First of all, we thank all the participants for staying with us patiently. And I take honor and privilege to invite our chief guest for the National Conference on Fire Resistant Glazing, Mr. Madireddy Pratap, IPS. Quick introduction to Pratap sir is he is an 1991 batch IPS officer on the Andhra Pradesh cadre, and MTech from IIT Delhi, and an MBA from Wharton Business School, University of Pennsylvania, and he is the Director General rank level 16 senior most IPS officer of AP State after DGP AP Shri Dwaraka Tirumala Rao IPS, and he has been appointed as the Director General of AP Fire Services by the Honorable CM Shri Chandrababu Naidu Garu, and he served in many senior positions: Superintendent of Police, Vizianagaram District, Group Commander, Greyhounds, Additional Secretary, Chief Minister's Office, United Andhra Pradesh, DGP AP Special Protection Force, VC Vice Chancellor and MD AP Industrial Corporation, VC and MD APSRTC, Director General AP Fire Services. He also served in UN Peacekeeping Force at Sarajevo, Bosnia with distinction. The Election Commission of India had utilized his services at Varanasi, UP as police election observer in UP Assembly elections, West Bengal Assembly elections, Jammu and Kashmir for Parliament elections, at Pathankot for Punjab Assembly elections, and at Mysore for Karnataka Assembly elections. Under the guidance and leadership of Honorable CM Sri Chandrababu Naidu Garu during the Gudameru flood crisis and disaster, he rose up to the occasion with innovative ways of using the fire department and got cleaned 75,000 homes to the applause of people of Vijayawada. He played a very vital role in attracting institutions of excellence such as Tata Memorial Cancer Research Center at Vizag, CMC Vellore campus at Chittoor, Aravind Eye Care Shankar Nethralaya and Ferguson College campuses at Tirupati, in setting up Shri City at Tada that hosts 220 MNCs which created 65,000 jobs, Brandix at Vizag providing 22,000 jobs, Apache at Sulurpet providing 15,000 jobs, etc. Google, Facebook, Infosys campuses at Hyderabad. So it's a very honor and our privilege to have you here, sir, with us as our chief guest for the National Conference on FRG. Now I hereby invite you to deliver us the chief guest address for the day, please. Pratap sir, please.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry I've been late, and you have come to the fag end of this session. Am I okay? Is it audible? I could see that you are all tired and having deliberated for too long on too many things. you can show this. This is South India Shopping Mall on fire in Visakhapatnam district recently, which we fought. Oh, just that much. You must have seen South India shopping malls construction. Everywhere it is like a box of 4 stories and lot of clothing material inside that. Why I am showing this is a very important issue. The biggest problem we are watching in India is that we are unmindfully and very dangerously constructing our malls as a fully air conditioned box type structures with a 3 to 4 floors of nice clothing clothing stores, and then 1 floor of food courts, and then on the top of it we put about 10 screens, 8 to 10 screens, multiplexes, wherein we show movie to about 1200 to 1500 people. So if we look at it from the point of view of going to a mall and enjoying for some time, you don't get to understand the danger behind it. That is why I wanted to play this video. South India Shopping Mall is a good brand in the southern part of India. How many of you are from southern part of India, have seen South India Shopping Mall personally? So quite a few of you. It is like Chennai Shopping Mall, Chandana Brothers, Bommana Brothers, or any mall you might have entered, just like that. So they have taken all the conventional safety precautions of putting water sprinklers and things like that, and that did not help. That is what, one table in NBC, the table number 7, prescribes that you put automatic sprinklers, some pressure tubes, hydrants and all that stuff to fight the fire. That did not help. And in this situation, we as firefighters, it happened just a month and a half ago in Visakhapatnam district of Andhra Pradesh. I am the head of this fire service. And to fight this fire, traditionally our people assembled 4 or 5 fire engines, and somehow they wanted to enter and to put that water jets inside. And to enter this building, we took 6 hours with oxygen mask. With this, that is the thickness of the smoke that you can get. That is the toxicity with which our own clothing material will burn. That is what I want you to be aware of. And whatever traditional systems that we have designed are of no use, because South India Shopping Mall, being a big brand, they don't compromise on stupid things, small safety issues. They are not like a routine kind of unorganized business fellows who cringe on everything and all that. They are not like that. So that means that the system has failed. So we should look for a new thing. And why I have shown you this is because a mall is 10 times bigger than this. It is only a clothes store of 4 stories. A mall is on the top of it there is a food court. Food court means a lot of kitchens from a fire point of view. On the top of it we are making people sit down and watch movie. Men, women, children, they are not ready to run. They are engrossed in enjoying a movie with family. That is the situation. Just imagine if this were to happen in any mall in India. which is traditionally fitted with water sprinkler systems and hydrants, which cannot stop this kind of fire, which happened because of electrical short circuit, which cannot douse this kind of fire at all. How will I bring them? How will I bring those people who are watching the movie safely outside the building is the question. Is the question. And why should I bother you with that question? Is another question. Because I should, however dramatic it may be, I should not waste your time, right? I brought this to your notice because I am prescribing the products which you are debating upon as a solution. As a solution to bring those people back to safety. Not the traditional things which are currently being practiced in India that can at all bring that kind in that kind of incident that can provide any safety to those people who are watching the movie. That is why I have shown you this. You can switch it off. Should I distract? Now we know that the sprinkler system cannot stop the smoke. The water hydrants will not stop the smoke. But then there are 1,000+ people watching the movie. How can I bring them back to safety? Normally what I have observed in any mall, there is a separate staircase access to the mall. But then to go to the theater floor, normally there are escalators within the mall also, from the food court, from any of the floors of the clothing store. You make you do a lot of shopping and then you go to the food court, have something, and then ride the escalator, get into the theater floor. That's what is normally happening. And it is a completely air-conditioned building. So that is what it is. So traditionally, if you look at it in the mall construction, so when there is a fire downstairs, that kind of smoke will engulf and get into the theaters. Because there is escalators to the theaters floor, if you have observed. And get into the theaters and get into the staircases. There is no way that you can escape. As the malls are constructed today in India. Even if something happens even in the downstairs in the cellars, because there are a lot of vehicles, 3 to 4 floors, and some of the tires get into flames, and that smoke also is likely to travel up, and it is a box, and normally there is no escape for the smoke. Once it gets inside, it gets accumulated and the severity keeps building up, and in that kind of smoke toxicity, a human being can stay awake for just 2 minutes. That's all. We are exposed to that. In 2 minutes we will become unconscious. After that, in 5 minutes we are dead. We can't move. This is the story. So therefore, we have been thinking about it, how to bring those people to safety. Then we analyzed some more accidents that have been happening in the country, in Andhra Pradesh and in Tamil Nadu, in Telangana and other places. In Secunderabad, in one of the hotel, It's a small hotel. It's a boutique type hotel. 3 stories building. It's a box, air conditioned. And in the cellar, they are not supposed to charge the electrical scooters, but they were charging electrical scooters, 10 of them. That was about 7:30 in the evening. It's the working day. And some people, from other cities, actually from Chennai and Visakhapatnam, they came to do some business. People like you who are very smart and having their own laptops. When I went there, their laptops are functioning right in the rooms. So they were there, about 9 people of them are there. So what happened, when they have put this, it is one staircase, only one staircase is there. And when these scooters were put on charging, and that fellow who is supposed to look after that, he went for a chai. And then it is overloading, and it went into flames. And the tires of those scooters, they got burnt. As you know, that when the tires burn, smoke like this will emanate. May not be this big, but smoke did emanate. So it started flowing through that staircase upwards. That is only 3 stairs, 3-story building, and it is a box. It's a fully air conditioned. Of course, they have put that traditional system of sprinklers and these hydrants and things like that. They won't even trigger because it went out of there's no actual flame. To get that kind of a sprinkler system trigger, there should be fire and reaching there, and about 68 degrees centigrade has to reach there. So there's no real that kind of fire anywhere. It is only scooter burning very close to the ground, and lot of smoke emanating, and smoke going through the staircase upwards. And the people like you, they were all awake. They were doing actually work on their laptops. I've seen their laptops functioning when I went there. That's how I could tell you. So when they saw that a lot of smoke coming into their rooms, they don't know what to do. Naturally, they attempted to get out of the building as quick as they can. And that only staircase which is full of smoke, they had to negotiate that. One person tried to negotiate the lift, and I could see when I went there, 8 people dead. And most of them on the staircase. One fellow was waiting before the lift in the first floor, and he died. And none of them had any fire injuries. None of them had any injuries whatsoever, except that they were asphyxiated to death because of smoke. See, the point here is, from the first floor, you cannot negotiate 10 more steps to get out of the building. From the second, third floor, you can forget about it. So all the people, 8 people died out of 9. But however, there is one old man who survived. I was intrigued. I talked to that man. Arey yaar, how did you survive? You know what this fellow told me? It's very memorable. Sir, I am not fit like all these guys who are dead by the time. So, I know that smoke is engulfing this building. So I took something like a paperweight in the room, something like this, and then went to the window and broke that window glass and put his face outside for fresh air. He used his brain, not the brain, and survived. So then what I understood is that when a smoke fills an air-conditioned room, it doesn't give you much time to run. in NBC, what we do is that 4 or 5 floors for high-rise buildings, for 4 or 5 floors, we give something like refugee room. आप refugee room तक नहीं आ सकते. That is, the concept is to give it to you access to the fresh air. But what the experience which we have seen here, in the case of this hotel is called Ruby Hotel in Secunderabad. And it doesn't give you that much luxury of time. It doesn't. That is what has happened, sir. And then we had another incident of fire in COVID first phase in Vijayawada, in a 3-star hotel. It's also 3 stories, completely air conditioned, and fitted with a traditional firefighting equipment, and they are all functional. In that, actually, COVID recovery patients were there, because they were already discharged, but then for the observation, because the hospitals are full and the demand for beds is very high. So they were asked to be there, and they were all fit and fine in the sense that they can at least walk and run, that kind of people. So the same thing, the cause is electrical short circuit. In all the cases which I have shown you, South India shopping mall, everywhere it is electrical short circuit is the reason. And then lot of smoke got generated. That happened in the night time at about 12 o'clock plus. And then there was alarms and the people woke up and they wanted to run. So what happened is some people, about 10 of them, decided that, they were in the top floor, 3rd floor. They went up onto the building. And they survived. We claimed that we have rescued them. We didn't. They survived. Because they got access to fresh air very quickly. Okay. And there are many of us, many of the other people, about 11 of them, decided by general instinct, which is normal to us, that that building luckily has a very big wide staircase, or just 2 staircases. We are out. We can run. They thought they tried to get out of the building through the staircases, and they could get out till the ground floor. And when we fought the fire and stopped it and opened it, and the 11 dead bodies were lying on the floor. So the lesson is clear, sir. The smoke will not give you the luxury of even 2 staircases. So you need to be given, people in danger, in that kind of situations, shall be given a quick, immediate access to the fresh air. So therefore we have come with the concept of breathing balcony. This is, I think, 2nd floor, 3rd floor, something like that, 2nd floor. I don't need to care which is the floor here. If a new design is to be approved for this building, because it's completely air conditioned, if there is a fire and some smoke is coming towards us, we will scramble, don't know where to go. And if it were to have a good amount of smoke, we cannot escape. We are finished. That is how we are designing our buildings. Traps. So therefore we have come up with a concept of breathing balcony. Just like that old man who has used his brain Even we cannot, because that is a panic situation where though we have good brains, we cannot use. We are in flight or fight mode. We just want to run. We can only do what we practice before. We can't come up with new ideas then and there. Therefore, what we decided to give a breathing balcony is give access to the fresh air on every floor. To the people who are working in that floor, who happen to be in that floor. The idea is, this is a room, this is filled with the people. There is something wrong. There is a door outside, and there is a balcony all around this hall, sufficient enough to accommodate all of us in a standing position, that is 6 square feet per person, and open to the air, not air conditioning. So that means all that you have to do, irrespective of the amount of kind of floor you are in case of fire, just take 10 steps or 20 steps, get into the breathing balcony. You have access to fresh air and you are safe. That is the concept of breathing balcony we have come. And coming to why I have told you what is the business for you is the question. And I talked about the mall. The classic case of mall is the most difficult thing to protect, in my opinion. The classic case is the large number of highly inflammable toxic materials. On the top of it, several kitchens. On the top of it is a closed box, air-conditioned building. On the top of it, with our children and women, we are watching a movie when this happens. That is the problem. So even in that case, we have provided breathing balconies. So naturally, for a theatre floor, breathing balcony of the width of 3.5 meters. So today in the new, the malls that are coming up in the state, I am mandating breathing balcony, which are protected by fireproof doors. You can have glass doors. Fireproof means all your materials will come. And then second thing is, I have mandated something called smoke test. Because I have been repeatedly telling that the traditional system which we have been mandating throughout the country is not sufficient or doesn't even scratch the surface, in the sense that it does not prevent that smoke from being generated once it is lit. So therefore the only way is to prevent the smoke. If the clothing stores are on fire, the only way is to prevent the smoke from entering the theatre's floor, entering the theatres, and entering the exclusive staircases meant for theatre, and entering the balcony, entering the exclusive lifts which are meant for evacuating people from the theatre's floor. That is the only way I can save the people. And it should be at least having a 2 hours fire rating separation. So one of the persons, this is what I have mandated. So for passing the smoke test. Smoke test, how we will conduct? There is no smoke test in India. We have put it. I have put it. I am a regulator in the state. I am mandating. Otherwise I won't operationalize in Andhra Pradesh. So the test is like this. Mosquito, for mosquito kill you generate lot of smoke. Na? So like that we generate lot of smoke without actually putting the cloths on fire in the clothing section of the, the mall. So a lot of smoke is getting generated now. The test is that that smoke should not enter the theaters, smoke should not enter the staircases, should not enter the lifts, should not enter the lobby area of the theaters. Because lobby area at least will act as something like breathing balcony for old structures. So this is the test. If you don't pass the test, you don't get an NOC. Very simple. So even for the old malls, we have fixed this. Because I can't, just because it's an old mall doesn't mean that I can put all of you in danger. Thinking, certifying that it is safe. It isn't. Because what we found, it is not that expensive to make it smoke proof. That is because of you guys. That is why I came to meet you. The idea is, suppose you are all in the theater side, on the floor of the mall, theater side. I am on the side of the mall, came through an escalator to this floor. All that one fellow has actually done to pass this test. It's an old mall, but once I instituted this test, he has actually done like this, what he did. And this is a theater, the mall area. I came on an escalator to the theater's floor. And then just like there is a for podium, so you put from this to the roof a full glass which is smoke proof. So it's a thick glass, and only way I can enter is through automatic closed door. So all the people, their escalators are there, everything is normal, except that he has sealed this area from the theaters area and the lobby and its staircases and its lifts with a fireproof glass, which is 2 hours rated. Simple enough. Now whatever amount of smoke I generate in the clothing store area, or if that kind of a South India shopping mall type of incident happens, however toxic the smoke may be, it will not enter the theater's floor. Is it not? So what I said is that, but there are a number of sensors which will sense this smoke. So they should give alarm while you are watching the movie. And then the public address system should come into activation and say that don't panic, but you have to evacuate. And give priority to the old man and the woman to use the lifts. All others, please go by the staircases. And the staircases are lit with LED bulbs powered by UPS systems, so that irrespective of the power outage, you have a clear exits and well-lit exits and smoke-free exits. Because the staircases are normally pressurized to see that smoke doesn't enter them from any floor. So, do you think I can bring you to safety now? Without passing smoke test, will you go and watch movie now? Before I used to in Hyderabad, now I am not watching. Because I live in Hyderabad, I don't go to movie in Hyderabad. Will you? Think about it. Now you know that are you a solution for this? So now I am, actually you can download in my website the number of malls and whatever mall is there in Andhra Pradesh. Your products are in demand because I have made it mandatory to pass smoke test. ठीक है? My wish Because we are Indians, sir. See, India is our country. Innovation can start in a small place, but it should be adapted throughout the country. Do you think the smoke test should be adapted across the country or not? I want you to be my ambassadors. And also in your own self-interest. Because of course, I know for sure it is not the only glass. There are many other materials which pass the fire retardant test, which can isolate. Even in the existing buildings without doing much modifications, we can ensure the buildings and the malls pass the smoke test. Therefore, I have no hesitation in mandating to old as well as to new. New, I am doing it more in a better style, because I am also prescribing the breathing balcony. So you are in the 7th floor in the mall, and the fire happens downstairs. The smoke will not enter because you passed the smoke test. But then I don't want you to subject to all the way down, 7 floors. You want to walk up and down that. I just want you to walk out of the theater into the breathing balcony, have access to fresh air, and without entering the building, from the breathing balcony you have access to both the staircases on either side, which are kept smoke free for you and lit, so that you can easily get out of the building. Even if you cannot go, I am there to come and help you. There is no problem. As long as you are survived, my job is done. बाद में देखेंगे एक दो चेयर एशेस में होगा या ना होगा. It's immaterial. I want your safety. तभी तो मेरा सिग्नेचर का वैल्यू है. ठीक है? So are you sure that under my signature you are safe? So I want this be taken up. And unfortunately it isn't there in India, sir. I have come up with this idea by studying that Sikandrabad Ruby case, where that man has just made a small dent in the glass and access to fresh air. And when I analyzed the another accident which happened right in front of me in Vijayawada, that also because you could get quickly, those people who got quickly access to the fresh air, they survived. Those people who didn't, they failed to survive. They paid with their lives. So is it not our responsibility to ensure that irrespective of the floor you are living in, especially if it is an air-conditioned building, that you should have access to fresh air as quickly as possible. That is why I am mandating breathing balcony in all the floors, not for 6 floors once now. So we are India, sir. Even if you put on 6 floors once, that is being utilized for something else. After हमारा signature के बाद कैसे कुछ होता रहता है. Who can police them? हम भारत हैं ना, बहुत मुश्किल है. So we have to understand the reality. So once you put in every floor, nobody will fiddle with it. And it is once done, it is absolutely safe. It doesn't depend on any human being or any machine or any system to reliably work to ensure your safety. ये जरूरत नहीं, इसलिए हमने लगाया. And also, whenever there is a big room like this, even if there is a breathing balcony, and even if the fire, from downstairs the smoke is not coming, still the smoke can be generated even in this room. Maybe some short circuit, something, I don't know, some cable burning and all that stuff. So then the smoke doesn't give you enough time for all the people sitting in this room to get out of this room. So that is why we have mandated, whenever there is a big assembly room like this, and the moment there is a smoke sense, and and there should be smoke evacuation system. Something like tubes will be there. At top there will be something like a splitation. There will be fans, exhaust fans. They will suck out the smoke from here, so that you have enough time to take couple of steps into the breathing balcony. The word breathing balcony is coined by us, and the smoke test instituted by us. Okay, sir? So we believe that I'm mandating it because the DG, that is me, I have been given power. DG on satisfaction. What is my satisfaction? It's an MR for star. Satisfaction that this building meets the reasonable fire safety. What is reasonable fire safety? So I have included, because DG satisfaction that this building meets the reasonable fire safety. In that reasonable fire safety, I have included smoke test, breathing balcony, smoke evacuation system. बाद में देखेंगे किससे क्या फाइटिंग करेंगे. Are you now sure that you are safe in my hands, under my signature? ये बात है सर. And then we wanted to go a step further. Sir, we are in an engineering school. Director Satyanarayana Sahab is known to me. I work with him to share my thoughts and push some of the ideas, and he comes back with a lot of feedback. And this is an institution which has showed me proudly that they put a lot of new innovations, very, very big fans I have seen in this campus being exemplified. So I am so glad to be addressing with you in such an institution which welcomes and open-minded to take innovation forward. I am actually at home in this place. So, traditionally, sir, for all the buildings we are prescribing this water sprinkler system, and the sprinklers are triggered when the temperature there reaches about 68 degrees centigrade. And by the time the down temperature will be 500 degrees centigrade, will people survive? Will any property will survive? Then what is the use of this water after that? I don't know. I didn't understand that it meets any reasonable fire safety, at least in my understanding. Because DG is satisfied with the reasonable fire safety. क्या reasonable है? आप समझा दीजिए मुझे. हमको कुछ reasonable नहीं लगा. इसलिए हमने क्या सोचा सर, so once there is alarm, once people get out of this to their safety into the breathing balcony, I don't want to trust one sprinkler to put out the fire. Why? Because the temperature has to reach, and then only some 10 liters, and then it is fixed. Its capacity is limited. On the top of it, it has to work. It's very tough in Indian conditions of maintenance of that kind of reliability. And then the water is not there, or is exhausted. गया आप, वो काम नहीं कर सकते. Water may or may not be there. So there are a number of issues behind a machine to be working perfectly. And its capacity cannot vary depending on the nature and capacity of the fire. And anyway, it does not going to save any human being, because we thought about it, 500 degrees, or neither the property. So that is the greatness of the safety measure which we have instituted across the country. Maybe I think copy paste. दिमाग नहीं लगाया. That is why I urge you at this August institution, because regulatory barriers which we impose, ये हमारा country है. We can change any regulation, any rules, any procedures, any technology. It is we should adopt new methods, new systems, new ways of protecting ourselves. We can't be stuck in copy paste. Therefore हमने क्या सोचा सर? For a small fire anyway, small cylinder will be there, 4.5 kg CO2. And for a small fire I put normal plumbing system में 5 HP pumps. 5 HP pump actually generates 60 kg of centimeter square water pressure and can be handled by women. But the traditional system, you need 2 pilemen to handle it, and you must be well trained to handle that. So those people who occupants of the building, it may be a I don't know machine gun, but you can't handle it. Then useless, isn't it? So that is for a small fires. For a big enough fire, what I want you to do, save your soul. That's what we all do. Just run. Run कहाँ? Breathing balcony. उसके बाद smoke free staircase. Get out of the building. That is what I want you to do. But then how to put out the fire if it is a 50th floor is the question. So small fires, I told you, it's not about small fire. Suppose it's a bigger fire. So that is where what we thought, sir, just like in a residential complex, now we are having a piped LPG gas connections. So that means a highly inflammable gas we are pumping through a tube to every kitchen, and on a tap is available in every kitchen, is it not? So similar kind of a pipe, but it is otherwise normally empty. Nothing will be there. The pipe material, the structure and the diameter and the nozzles can be designed by our engineers. Okay. So otherwise it's an empty pipe, and it is having a opening and closing with maybe a solenoid. Once there is a smoke or a heat is sensed by these multi-sensors, which are normally employed in all the high-rise buildings, the opening of this pipe will be operated by maybe a solenoid, something like that. So that means this pipe is open in this room. Suppose there is a fire. Is it not? That doesn't mean anything will happen. In all other rooms, that pipe is closed because there is no fire smoke there, and it doesn't have to operate. Okay, sir. So then, what happens at the gate and a security room. I wanted to give that fellow with that pipe, because it is wide to all the rooms, and it is only open in the place in the 20th floor where the fire is happening. Number of tools. क्या क्या टूल लगा सकते हैं? So be it, let us say, foam. So 4 liters of water can fill up this room, sir. Foam is an old technology. Only thing, it can be pumped through that pipe. And what kind of mechanism is required to pump the pipe with the 4 liters of water? They mix with some chemical which will give out the foam into this room. Should have to be detailed design has to be done by you. So foam will put out the fire, and definitely will not kill people even if somebody is there. Second, the same pipe should be versatile enough to handle, let us say, aerosol. Aerosol normally comes in the form of a solid, it can be made into gas very quickly. And then it is made into a gas there, the security, some with a small chamber. It can be compressed and pumped into through that pipe into this room. A small opening is enough because it's a closed room by and large to fill this room and kill the fire. And aerosol, you know, is such that it does not displace oxygen. Even if a person is there, injured or, you know, not evacuated, we don't know, it doesn't get killed. Third, we can even pump DCP powder through that pipe. It will kill the smoke, it will kill the fire, but will not necessarily harm the person, even if he is there. So like that, 3-4 options we can work out. And then, you know, what happens, sir, once this system is established. And today, you know, what is happening with high-rise buildings, sir? When 18 meters or so is gone, up, you know, our fire engines which are only thought about having a water, we cannot reach beyond that. So there is an enormous amount of pain and gapagap that we are prescribing on you. So there is a lot of expense being incurred, as much as 125 rupees per square feet for high-rise buildings, for fighting fire, and that too this kind of sprinklers, which we have discussed about its advantages and disadvantages just now. And if this system were to be there, because it's a kind of a gas, and it is with a pipe, how does it matter is 100 meters or 200 meters, 300 meters high? It's a child's play for us to design a system which can pump. Is it not? And then we can put a fire without any problem in any amount of floors. It may be 100 to 100th floor, it doesn't matter. Don't you think I can put a fire with this kind of a system? Is there any problem? Simple. And you know, we have estimated the cost for this. It is about 20 rupees or even less than that per square feet, as opposed to 125. And that doesn't provide you safety, sir. That is the beauty of the whole system. And this will give you multiple layers of safety for you. So according to this scheme of things, sir, are you guys okay to listen to me, or you are tired? Or you want to have a break?
Had affected around a dozen of employees who were at work in that plant, but fortunately none of them suffered burn injuries, but they had suffocated with the toxic fumes that was caused by some chemicals that caught fire, is what the fire officials say. So there was a lot of smoke and fire that spread, and it took a couple of hours for the fire officials to bring the fire under control. We are on a hilltop of a hamlet called Udanapalli in Hosur, from where you can see the Tata Electronics. A major fire had engulfed on. I have with me here a few employees here who are waiting to join another plant of Tata, which is going to come soon. And these are the eyewitnesses who saw that the fire accident that happened on Saturday. So with me here is Kamalesh from Rajasthan. आपने उस दिन क्या देखा वो explain कर सकते हैं?
उस दिन हमने सुबह जब ड्यूटी के लिए रेडी हो रहे थे, उस दिन क्या हमें उधर से धुआं आ रहा था, बहुत ज़्यादा काला काले धुएं थे, उधर के बादल छा रहे थे। हमने सुबह इधर हमारा रूम है, इधर से हम देखे तो उधर बहुत तेज़ आग लग रहा था, इधर से कंपनी जलता हुआ हमें दिख रहा था। फिर हमने हमारे सर के पास फ़ोन किया, सर ड्यूटी में जाना है कि नहीं जाना। उन्होंने बोला इधर कोई अभी अलाउ नहीं है, अभी कंपनी में उधर आग लगा हुआ है, उधर से कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन मिलेगा तब उधर हम आपको बता देंगे। उस दिन के बाद 2 दिन तक हमारा छुट्टी रहा था, फिर हम ड्यूटी नहीं गए, फिर हम मंडे को ड्यूटी ज्वाइन हुई थी।
Okay, so that was Kamlesh who had also took video recordings of the fire and the fire tenders, running around here to douse the fire. We have another person, eyewitness here, Ajay. Ajay, आपने क्या देखा उस दिन?
हमने देखा सर, हम सुबह मॉर्निंग में खड़े हुए तो ड्यूटी के लिए तैयार हो रहे थे, तो हमको इधर धुआं दिखा, तो हम इधर आके देखे तो कंपनी पूरा जला हुआ, कंपनी में धुआं हो रहा था पूरा। तो हम इधर डूंगर पे इसमें मंदिर हम पत्थर पे छंड के देखे तो हमने पूरा फायर, बहुत तेज़ फायर लग रहा था, आग बहुत तेज़ हो रहा था इधर। तो हमने वीडियो शूट किया, तो ऐसे फिर हमने सर को कॉल किया, तो ऐसे सर ने बोला कि अभी तक हमारे पास कोई मैसेज नहीं है, तो मैं आपको बता देंगे मैसेज होगा, तो कुछ ऐसे कोई बात नहीं है। फिर हमारा सर ने मना कर दिया, ड्यूटी नहीं है आज, अलाउ नहीं है कंपनी में। तो फिर 2 दिन छुट्टी आ गया हमारा, छुट्टी के बाद हम यही देखा और कुछ नहीं देखा।
Now you have seen this is in Hosur, Tamil Nadu, Tata's Electronics. Tata, is one of the finest brands we have. They don't compromise on small things. So they would have installed all the fire safety equipment that the regulators in in Tamil Nadu or we in Andhra Pradesh prescribe. And all of them did not save the factory. You have seen that. It is completely down to ashes. I came here to have a meeting. I had a meeting soon after this incident in Andhra Pradesh. We have near the Redesigning airport at least 10 cell phone manufacturing facilities employing more than 20,000 people. And we have another 15 such companies in Shri city in Andhra Pradesh, including Foxconn. Foxconn alone employs 15,000 people. So once this incident has happened, and the whole Tata factory, the iPhone 16, I didn't even buy iPhone 16 as yet. So India lost 10,000 jobs, and there is a huge disruption in the supply chain. And then they thought, the external outsiders, they were thinking that India managers are incompetent. And the Tamil Nadu Fire Service along with the Karnataka Fire Service brought in about 7 to 8 fire engines to fight the fire, while the factory reduced to ashes. So think about it. If you are a manager of that factory, what is your fate? You are plant head. Yes, the property gone out, it's okay, but what about you? People are thinking that you are given authority to build the plant. Nobody bothers about how much money you spend on. Nobody will say that you should reduce the money spent on safety. But yet, you didn't take adequate precautions, that the factory went up in flames. That is exactly and they were blamed and told that you are incompetent. That is exactly the feeling that went through the managers' heads here in Redesigning. They came back to me. Sir, जब तक नहीं होता ठीक है हम उस्ताद हैं. So whatever in India we are practicing as a safety measures, the so-called water sprinklers, the stupidity of it is even though it is an electronics industry, they are putting water sprinklers in India. What a sad story. Just imagine, will you put your cell phone, iPhone, into a bucket of water to clean it with soap water? What our regulators are doing. And they are insisting on putting water sprinklers in electronic manufacturing facilities, which are the water and electronic equipment that antithetical to each other. I am an electronics engineer. So when those managers came and told me that jab tak nahi hota, if the fire doesn't destroy your factory, the water will. What a beautiful regulations are. Don't you think the regulations should be changed, thrown into dustbin? So the managers, they came and pleaded with me, जब तक नहीं होता ठीक है सर, अगर होता तो खत्म, हमारा जॉब भी खत्म होता, and I will be labeled as an incompetent man, having worked through so many layers and become a plant head today, and will not get another opportunity properly. That is when I came. And then I visited all these factories. Previously मैं इस दिमाग से नहीं देखा, because it is a different glass. इस perspective से मैंने देखा नहीं था. Though I was involved in promotion of industry in the CM's office, but मैंने fire safety के नाम की वजह से कभी नहीं देखा नहीं था. अभी देखा. So when I went and inspected these factories, all of them are closed, air-conditioned structures, which house large number of expensive, automatic machines, and which cannot function in a dusty environment. Therefore, we are asked to put on number of layers of cloth, go through a lot of cleaning of our clothing and gloves and things like that, special things. And just like there is something like a air wash of the whole body before you enter the facility, because they are sensitive, they are machines. So I visited the factories. All of them are forced to install the fire safety equipment, so-called water sprinklers. So then we came and brainstormed. The first thing I did is to switch off or throw out these water sprinklers. बाद में देखेंगे क्या करना. But unfortunately, alas, across India, it is still being insisted upon. Some of the MNC fellows have protested when the fire department people wanted this water sprinklers. But you know what is the response of the fire department? Either you install this or you give me the equivalent money so that I sign off. So the traditional technologies have become ingrained, adopted by the local regulators and forces, people who are currently in the system. They have been benefiting out of that in big way, because their relatives and friends, they have started installing these water sprinklers everywhere in the country, and therefore the regulator himself has become an installer, has developed a serious vested interest and doesn't have an open mind to look into the new technologies and he is willing to do harm for his benefit. This is capture of regulation by the regulators and his friends and relatives, and harming to the detriment of this country. हम देख रहे हैं, आप देख लिया सर, iPhone factory goes up in flames. Is it not responsibility for us regulators, especially that of Indian level? ISI should come, inspect, team of engineers, look into it, change the regulation. वो नहीं करेगा, वो भी नहीं, हम करेगा तो वो बोलेगा वो नहीं करना है, ये इसमें नहीं है उसमें नहीं है, because they are close minded. I am sorry to say, I have experienced this. But anyway, what is the solution? अगर ये होता सर हमारा दुनिया में, हम 10 मिनट में, एक दिन में नहीं सर, you don't need 10 fire engines to work. I don't want a drop of water to be put on the machines. Mind you, I have cut off all this nonsense. I will put out the fire in 10 minutes. Not by once, but 5 different technologies. Abhi Reliance is also getting into the cell phone, semiconductor, a lot of manufacturing facilities. They are hiring some 7 to 10,000 people here. I just came from them. Tomorrow again we are having a meeting. And they are putting up a plant, and the plant will have this technology. It's no James Bond business. Very simple, obvious. उतना मुश्किल नहीं है. So what once I inspected that, so first I asked them to switch off this. Second, you have to go with a lot of dress materials and all that, with negotiating a small narrow lane. And when 700 people are working and the fire goes up, you can't negotiate a small narrow lane to come out, isn't it? So that is why I asked them to put multiple exits. So you are there sitting, you can open the door and get out. You are there sitting, you can open the door, get out. But normal operation is this only door. But in emergency, you can't have that luxury. So I wanted them to decide how many and where to be put, to be decided by the engineers concerned, right? And I wanted that multiple exits should be there. So in emergency, you can go break open those and then close the doors. So that I want them, because most of the factories are on the ground floor. If they are not having, they should have a breathing balcony around, so that you can just break open, get it to have access to fresh air. Okay? So once people are out and safe, I'm happy. बाद में देखेंगे how to safeguard your expensive machinery and thereby your reputation that you are a competent manager. ठीक है sir? So we are designing now a pipe, simple PET pipe, which will be wired into, let us say this is a factory room. Somewhere there that experts will design how it should be, where it should be done. But there is a simple pipe, you can say, just like in high-rise buildings. And the pipe will be connected to, if the people are completely vacated, and you know for sure, you can just pump in liquid carbon dioxide. It's about minus 20 degrees centigrade, and each kg of liquid carbon dioxide on touch with air will expand 500 times. And we have experimented in a cold storage which is having a 5,000 cubic meters. Generally, everybody knows that carbon dioxide will put out the fire. It's an age-old story. It's just that we are putting in a truck with 15,000 kg of liquid carbon dioxide. Just a big cylinder. There are about 10 companies there, and it doesn't cost much. The truck is as costly as our water tender. And it is not a unavailable technology. The liquid carbon dioxide is a byproduct of making liquor. Every distillery manufactures it. It's ubiquitously available. We are not polluting anymore because it is a byproduct. We are only using a waste product for safety. अगर ऐसा ट्रक है वहाँ, अगर ऐसा ट्रक है for the near the Tata factory, if there is a pipe inside the factory, it's okay. If there is no pipe, I'll just drill a hole and put a pipe, SS pipe. ठीक है sir? And then connect it to the truck, which is having a 10,000 kg of liquid carbon dioxide, and pump it. Will the fire survive? हमने देखा at the cold storage, which is 5,000 cubic meter, much bigger than any of these small factories. It took 7 minutes to kill the fire completely. We don't have to take a large number of fire stations, fire engines, fight को ये जरूरत नहीं सर, 10 मिनट का काम है. हमने ये सॉल्यूशन दिया, एक नहीं दूसरा अभी है. The same pipe should be able to pump in aerosol. I asked, there are 10 companies, I have asked them to sign a mutual aid agreement. Each company will buy about 20 kg of aerosol, which is a solid material. You bring that in, the moment there is a fire, because they are very close proximity to each other, they will all come. Mutual aid agreement with their bags of aerosol. So you put that, you make it into a gas in a chamber, compress it, and pump into that. Because pre-arrangement, if you had a pre-arrangement of a pipe, the same pipe, you can pump aerosol into that. You can pump foam into that. You can pump DCP powder into that. You can pump a clean agent into that, or FM2000 gases. Depending on the, and even if the factory is having 100 buildings, or together they may be having like some 25 buildings. All that equipment that is to douse the fire that is required is the biggest building, what one big building requires. Because you will never have a fire in all the factories at a time. That is the beauty. So you don't need to put for every building, every facility. You just have to choose the biggest facility and put it. Preferably you partition it so that you can reduce further the requirements. You make a fire partitions with your materials. It can be transparent also, because you want to have one view. You can have your glass as a partition. Still you can see through all the facility and work through. Isn't it? So that is what we have been working through, so that the amount of material that is required for the entire cluster to be stored is very little. The entire cluster may have 100 buildings. It doesn't matter. One building worth material is enough. and that too couple of options. ऐसा लगाया, do you need fire service to come and put out the fire? What, sir? Or do you have multiple options at your disposal within minutes, within seconds? And clean and efficient. Why multiple tools? Because sometimes we are not very sure people have come out. So CO2 is not conducive in that situation, but aerosol is, foam is. They don't kill. DCP powder is. Maybe something else which is advanced materials, I don't know, but these are all very cheap day-to-day equipment. And they have told me, they have posed me one question. Sir, I wanted partitioning. Actually, NBC says 1000 square meters, one partition is a better thing. Because however big may be the factory, at a time we are going to handle only 1000 square meters fire. It is not a big inferno. It is a small localized fire. It is also good for you because all your equipment is not going to be burnt because you are dividing and ruling. So, but they told me that our assembly lines are such, 50,000 square feet building, I can't divide. So that operation, right now we are building the factory. So I came from a container straight to this seminar. We were sitting with the engineers, brainstorming in a container. Tomorrow also I am going there, 10 o'clock. I excused them and I came running over here because I am already running past my time. That chap told me, no sir, Then I told him that at least you isolate your most expensive machines. Yes sir, I can do that for my data center, computer intensive. But most of my expensive machines are on the assembly line. How can I save them, sir? And then I told them, you separate one line from another line with a glass. And then I said that no sir, we have to move the material from one to another. So then we came with an idea, two ideas, but you can come with better ideas. That is why I am taking your time, because you are masters. I am a bacha. Masters should address, and you can increase your business. Because India में कहीं नहीं है. पहली बार हम सोच रहे हैं. सोच नहीं है, just not सोच. And we are implementing on the ground. Okay, sir. So the idea is that you put a tarpaulin. This is the let us say that this is the assembly line. All people on both sides doing some assembly and all that. That assembly line is having $1 million machines. And it is all connected wires hanging and all that stuff. He said you put a tarpaulin on the top. A tarpaulin, looks like a cloth material, but it can be painted with a fire retardant paint. It can withstand fire. And it can carry a tube which can put any of the gas which we are going to connect and pump into the room. So on sensing of the fire with a multi-sensors and all. So this tarpaulin will come down lowered and it will cover all this assembly line machinery. Okay, sir? And then we pump the gas. Finish. Khatam hoga na? That is one solution we thought about. Second solution, some kind of a aluminum sheet. So the aluminum sheet can come and fall over this. Aluminum will not melt just like that, na? Even wrapper aluminum, that food wrapper aluminum, it won't melt. So little bit thick of that, so that it can be made into the shape of these machines, this assembly line, and it is staying there. and it will be lowered on sensing of the fire. And into that closed assembly line system, any of the gases which we talked about, depending on sensitivity of the machines and other things, you can pump. Will the fire survive, sir? Is it not a better solution than that? We are living in 18th century, sir. When I looked at iPhone factory going up in flames, no wonder the outsiders called us as incompetent. Because dimag nahi laga hai na. Still we are taking the water tanker, usse laga rahe hain. And when iPhone cannot be put in water, a bacha knows, still we are putting water sprinklers in automatic mode, as if, because that is the only business our friends, the so-called regulators and their relatives have captured, and they are perpetuating. And they don't let you put your mind. Hum hai na. I am a different man. That is why I am here. That is why I told you that Pala IIT is good, at least invites ideas. Because I want you to evangelize. You understand, sir, now? Now you think about the kind of materials which you are having, fireproof materials, which can safeguard this expensive electronic machinery in the factories, and which can, can be lowered, through which these several different approved gases, they can be pumped to clean suppression of any fire. Mostly it is electrical nature, fires are. Clean suppression of any fire without damage to the equipment and resuming quickly the operations without killing anybody. कर सकते हैं ना कर सकते ना सर, because दिमाग खुला है तो ideas will flourish, don't they? Can you do it or not? सर हम यहाँ काम कर रहे हैं, so that will be the first cluster in India which will house these different tools to suppress the fire, other than the harmful water sprinklers. Being a regulator myself in this small state, I have outlawed in electronic industry any water sprinklers. I have outlawed wherever there are water reactive chemicals are processed, especially in pharmaceutical industry. Don't you think this has to be adopted across the country? When India is now going strong on semiconductor manufacturing, integrated chips manufacturing, otherwise we will be importing the worth of electronic goods more than that of our fuel bills. Fuel we cannot create underground, but we can create out of sand any amount of electronics. हम हिंदू है ना, हम इंडियन है, हमारा दिमाग तो तेज है. कहीं भी हो दिमाग, कहीं भी हो in the world, we are powering the electronics industry. So at least we can cultivate our mind. So don't you think we should step up, and also in safety? And the billions of dollars of investment that is going on, should it not be safeguarded? Or should it be left to the regulators who have captured through water sprinklers 18th century technology, and a water tanker coming up and dousing your fires and not bothering and batting an eyelid? This is the tragedy, sir. I submit humbly before you. It's being enacted across this country, day in and day out. And my own batchmate heads the fire service in Tamil Nadu, but they don't think like this. Now you understand, sir, where we are. I am open. ठीक है? I want you, in your own self-interest, to come and work and experiment with me. There is Shri City, the world-class industrial hub in our state. There are a number of malls which require to pass smoke test, for which I have already prescribed as a regulator. You have agreed with me. Any reasonable thinking Indian will agree that we need smoke test in this country. And we need multiple tools to put out fires in electronic industry where the expensive machines do not tolerate water. You agree with me? So, therefore, we need to come up with the tools, come up with the designs specific to the sectors and segments of industry, because I cannot design. I am just opening a mindset, opening an idea that we should adopt modern technologies. Luckily, you know what, sir? If you put water sprinklers in the factory, it costs, let us say, 5 crores. And all these modern technologies combined together, because you have to put in every square feet, every factory, everywhere, and you need to store 50,000 liters of water for every building. Aisa hai. And there is behind that, to pump it, to drive it, there is a jockey pump, there is a diesel pump, there is an electrical pump, 24/7 running, maintaining that pressure. Even though that destroys the electronic industry. ये बात था. उसका पूरा खरीद, let us say it's 5 crores. What I have been prescribing, luckily, doesn't cost even 1 crore. 20% of the cost. Is it not more efficient? So technology is also, very, not only affordable, sir, and easy to maintain, and very, very effective. It is just that we should open our minds, adopt the new tools. And I want you guys to come and provide your materials, because they are important in various applications, to fireproof them, to separate, especially partitioning. And this kind of sensitive equipment, the closures. In case of emergency, the closure will close the machine. And once you close it, you can pump any kind of gas without harming anybody, even if they are there. And the amount of gas required is minuscule. Instead of flooding the whole room, you just flood just the machine. Kitna kam hoga? And you can easily evacuate that and keep it ready, operational. ठीक है ना सर? कर सकते हैं? हम कामयाब हैं? Silence. ये बात है सर. So today and tomorrow we have been in the midst of designing this kind of systems. And this, I believe, should be adapted. Or don't you think it should be adapted throughout the country? Not necessarily the exact copy. Dimag laga ke, use different tools, not just the water. That is exactly what I am trying to say. Sir, the final words. Sir, if you take a high-rise building of apartments, there are number of setbacks, this, that and all that, for what purpose? Fire engine to negotiate. बॉम्बे में कितना पैसा आप बर्बाद कर रहे हैं, आप देख लो, समझ लो. And for the office buildings, for high-rise buildings, electronic city in Bangalore, Chennai, or Hyderabad mein Gachibowli, you must have visited, many of you. You see that lot of open spaces all around the buildings. For what purpose? Water tanker to go around. कहाँ है 21st century, 18th century technology? क्या बात है भाई? क्या बात है. Sir, that is why, sir, I wanted IIT to partner with me and think more aggressively on this issue. We can redesign the urban spaces. Sir, in 2 by 2 miles in London, the amount of office space available is more than the entire Hyderabad, Gachibowli, Madhapur, Jubilee Hills and more put together. Why? Because we have such a poor regulations backed up by 18th century fire department technology. अभी मॉडर्न टेक्नोलॉजी अडाप्ट करेंगे. मैंने बोला कि एक्चुअली आई हैव डिजाइन आई हैव अप्रूव्ड फॉर अ बिल्डिंग सर नियर near Vijayawada in our new capital city. It is a 33-floor building. It's actually luckily already built. Will be operational. You guys can come and see what I have approved. Maybe in 6 to 8 months. Maybe 1 year max. So it is 33 floors built. Not just that they have not fixed anything. So the floors are built. They have to make other partitions, walls, and things like that. And then the interiors may take about a year. And each floor, 33 floors commercial building, completely going to be air conditioned. And each floor is 1,20,000 square feet. So it's about 40 lakh square feet building. So that means 4 million square feet building, sir, one building. So traditionally, 1 million, 4 million square feet building, 4 million into 100, sir. 400 million rupees means that 40 crores minimum. Because 125 lagana. So it's about 50 crores will be the cost of this sprinkler system, that a hydrant system uske liye. And a lot of push of people to maintain that the jockey pump and all that stuff. It looks like a big small factory underneath that building. ठीक है सर, ये था हमने आई हैव डिजाइन. एंड देन 32 फ्लोर में आप हैं, अगर ऐसा स्मोक आ जाता लाइक दैट ऑफ साउथ इंडिया शॉपिंग मॉल टाइप, आप कहाँ जाते भाई? मुझे मालूम है, मुझे मालूम करना है. हाउ कैन आई सेव यू? हमने 2 स्टेयर केस लगाया सर, 3 लिफ्ट लगाया था, तो व्हाट? अब कहाँ दौड़ेंगे भैया? So that is how we are building all the buildings in this country, sir. Luckily, since we did not finish the buildings, only just slabs were made. I have changed the design and reissued the provisional NOC, sir. हमने क्या किया? I just asked them on each floor what is the maximum capacity he is thinking. So maximum capacity of people into 60 square feet. उतना हर फ्लोर में breathing balcony लगाया. Which side he wanted to put, because front side he wanted to have show, no problem. Back side it doesn't matter. So suppose अगर this is the floor and back side में थोड़ा breathing balcony होगा. All that you have to do, irrespective of whether you are in 32 floor or 21st floor, you don't have to remember. You don't have to scramble. Just take 20 steps. You are in breathing balcony protected by doors which are made by you. ठीक है? अगर if you want to put glass which is made by you, put glass. There is a fire and smoke, it will not enter that side. And you are safe breathing fresh air. किसी भी place में हो. And then what I said, sir, this breathing balcony should be connected seamlessly to the 2 staircases, kanisam, at least 2 staircases which are pressurized, to see that they are free from smoke. So that you on 32nd floor, 32nd floor can come back to safety without any problem. And also preferably the lifts, they should be pressurized and kept free from smoke so that you can come back to safety without re-entering the building. आप किसी भी फ्लोर में हैं आप वापस आ सकते हैं. Now with this small tweak, don't you think you are safe, sir? हाँ, then you know small fire के लिए तो छोटा सिलेंडर वो सब कुछ लगाएंगे. Another thing what we did, sir, because that is again relevant to you. Each floor is 1,20,000 square feet. If the fire happens and if the whole bloody floor is burning, you know it is like a big inferno. We cannot allow it. Therefore, I said you should have a partition for every 1,000 square meters. 1.2 lakh square feet means 12 partitions should be there. हमने mandate किया. And then they said, no, sir, you know, they wanted to have big this thing. And ठीक है यार, you know, हमारे वाले glass बना रहे हैं. It is like as if it looks like a 12. You put a glass partition. Only thing it should be fireproof and smoke proof. आप कर सकते हैं ना? हमने बोला है sir. So once you do that, sir, the whole 33 floor building at 4 million square feet is just any time is not more than 1,000 square meters for firefighting purpose. कितना आसान है देख लो. That is where you come to help me. हमने already I mandated, sir. Now it is up to you. You want to have a cheap thing, you put a brick wall. You want to have a nice thing, you put acai glass. आपकी मर्जी है, हम कुछ बोलते नहीं. ठीक है सर? So now you have a business. You understand now what I am trying to say? So now you see that, sir, once we incorporated into design this partitioning and the breathing balcony, कितना भी बड़ा हो building, are you not feeling safe in that building, sir, under my signature? Do you need to assurance of any machines working properly? वो जाकी पंप काम कर रहा है ना कर रहा है? भगवान को देखो, ऐसा नहीं है ना. Your life is not a gamble under my signature. ठीक है? उसके बाद में दूसरा क्या है सर? Now that if I small fires, you know, छोटा काम से, but when it's big enough, you run for your life to the breathing balcony, get out of it, and then you put a pipe. उस pipe से you can pump in, you know, different types of things, because it's a office kind of a building. You know, it doesn't matter if you put aerosol or you put you know, foam or you DCP powder. I am not authorizing CO2 because we don't know how many people are there, how many came out, because office is always changing. But in the factory it is not like that, sir. We exactly know who are there, how many and all. So I am authorizing there, but here I am not authorizing. I am authorizing only the things which does not kill people even if they are there. So now, are you not, and all that, you know, sir, for this building, I told you 50 crores. मैंने कितना प्रिस्क्राइब किया? एक पाइप लगाना कितना लगेगा? मैक्सिमम 10 लाख 20 लाख 15 लाख, मे बी 50 lakhs, I don't know. And then उसके बाद में क्या, in the driveway near the security fellow, 1,000 square meters ना सर, 1,000 square meters into height whatever, उसका कितना, you know, foam चाहिए उतना लगाओ उसके पास. So though that is having 12 into 33, कनीसम 330 partitions are there. But how much requirement I have asked you to, sir? Just one partition, maybe two partitions worth, because for a safety purposes, engineering safety purposes, to be doubly sure. So how much it becomes, sir? Even if you put 3-4 different types of it, 10, 330 by 10, 1 over 33 times cost reduction हो गया ना सर आपका, हो गया. And are you not sure that you will put out the fire or not? इससे गारंटी है, उससे गारंटी है. बिकॉज उसमें क्या है सर, वो पंप काम कर रहा है ना कर रहा, खत्म. आप वो स्प्रिंकलर काम किया ना और खत्म. And the water is not there sufficiently, you are out. You are dependent on so many ifs and buts, sir. Here empty pipe में खराब करने के क्या है, कुछ नहीं. empty pipe से अगर वो वहाँ सिलेंडर खत्म हो गया तो neighboring building का सिलेंडर लाते, हम भी ला सकते. Can the fire survive when the people are out into breathing balcony outside the building? Once that is assured, sir, once your safety is assured, there is no requirement for setback, sir, other than for fresh air. Once you remove the setback, sir, in Mumbai, आप देख लो कितना पैसा आप बना सकते. And how much the public transport will become viable. How much the traffic congestions we can be having less of. How much the pollution that we breathe in our homes every day will be less of. Think about it. Why can't we have the same thing like in London? 2 by 2 square miles can host more than our Gachibowli, Madhapur, Jubilee Hills and entire Hyderabad. Office space. Office space is normally air conditioned. हम जो बोल रहे हैं ब्रीदिंग बालकनी लगाओ एंड यूज द मॉडर्न फायर सिस्टम्स, कितना खर्चा? 1/33 टाइम्स. वो बड़ा है तो 1/100 टाइम होगा, उतना खर्चा से. आर यू नॉट श्योर दैट यू कैन फाइट द फायर, सर? डू यू रिक्वायर 18th century टेक्नोलॉजी वेयर ए वाटर टैंकर विल गो अराउंड इट? कहाँ क्या दुनिया में है सर? देख लिया. though we are thinking about a small, very small innovation, it has a larger implication. When we are building cities, sir, we can increase FSI, and very safely so. And we can redesign our urban spaces. We can breathe less poisonous air. We can use more public transport. Don't you think we need to put our collective intelligence into this task, sir? I am doing. Let me not be alone. I want IIT, the brightest minds, to partner with me, to test, to retest. हम अकेला कर रहे हैं सर, without a पैसा, to do experiment. ये भारत है. भारत ऐसी है, हमारे पास पैसा नहीं, फिर भी हम एक्सपेरिमेंट कर रहे हैं. And most of my department is not in favor of it, because they are in the business of putting that water sprinklers. 50 crore का बिजनेस खत्म हो गया. 2 crore का लगा. I have designed not more than 5 crores, sir. You put any number of the redundancies in that building, not more than 5 crores, sir. And then that fellow has put traditionally, see, the impact, the multiplier impact which I am talking about, that open spaces and all, I have not removed, because we have to establish this. We have to test it out, right? So that if the people, good people partner with us, we can make it happen. So our department people, they are all against me. And I have no funds, complete zero. फिर भी हम कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज ये भारत हमारा सा है. हम नहीं करें तो कौन करेगा? सो आई थिंक इट इज़ माई प्रिविलेज. भारत में मेरा जैसा बहुत है, बट आई थॉट इट इज़ माई प्रिविलेज. हम करके दिखाएंगे. ठीक है सर. आई एम गोइंग टू फाइल पेटेंट्स ऑन दिस solutions. Sir, I am not saying I am implementing, I am walking my talk. Dam hai na, because I am disregarding the tradition. So I am signing with my hands. Yes, it meets reasonable fire safety. भारत में कोई नहीं कर रहा है, करने का कलेजा होना ना, ये बात है. That's what it is. Now you know where you stand. अगर हमारा सिस्टम अडॉप्ट हो जाता, because people are fascinated with glass, so let him have enough glass. I have no problem. But provide breathing balconies. Okay, sir. And separation, 1,000 square meters we can do. And there are several other associated equipments that you are all making very diligently, trying to establish standards. That's what we need. ये mainstream हो जाता sir, ये mainstream हो जाता, you know what will happen? You will have plenty of business. At the same time, we'll have plenty of FSI. At the same time, when plenty of FSI, like in the New York City, you see New York City mein, buildings mein there is no firing in though they use the old technology. So let us be open to the new technologies. Try to, it's a question of ensuring safety. And let us remove all this nonsense. And minimize, reduce. It's very expensive, sir. Otherwise, put the lot of costly infrastructure. We are always inadequate. Our country is buzzing, sir. Believe me. You want to beat China in the near future. Only per capita income of Bangalore is much higher than the tough. So we have to create several Bangalores. Bangalore is already a cesspool of traffic jams. हम कुछ अलग दिखना, अलग सोचना है ना सर. ये ही अलग सोच है. ये छोटा सा लीवर है. अगर आप एस्टैब्लिश करें, so it will change India, which is fast urbanizing, fast creating wealth. India that is vibrant, youthful, dynamic, and ready to take over this world. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, for your time today. No, I think it was worth every second and every minute that was spent. I speak on behalf of everybody present here and on behalf of GSI. We really thank you from the bottom of our hearts, that we have somebody senior, who thinks revolutionary as you are thinking, and who is trying to make a change. So I think all of us, you ignited a spark in all of our minds, obviously our businesses, definitely. But, the thoughts that you've given us, I think, definitely will see a lot of change in society, a lot of change in our businesses, a lot of change in the design thinking that I think everybody's thinking about here.